Gotcha. Okay.
Perfect.
And I'm like,
Oh, we'll be able to hear you
whoa,
loud and clear.
that is very
Who, me?
different.
I'm not saying
Oh,
that.
yeah. That's what my allergies, yeah.
Right.
That's
Please
not really have a
Stress.
problem.
And so-
Oh, yeah, that's right. It does have, yes, wash that pollen away, yeah, yes.
Are you expecting someone else?
Yeah, oh,
Because
I know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Would you like to wait a couple minutes?
Yeah.
Someone has to
If
read
you don't
my
mind.
medicine, so. Oh, yeah.
And then throw.
But that clock out there must be
And then
fast.
put the throw in depression.
Yeah, the clock out there is a solar clock, and
Okay.
every once in a while you can watch it and it just goes like this and you're like, okay, what's
I
happening?
just want to say, because I thought it was asking, I told him to come on, because I thought it was
Stress
asking.
is
My
really
first
bad.
one
Okay,
is-
It
so-
should be. Yeah, so Saturday,
Besides,
for the
So did you
preparation
attend some on last
of,
week?
we
How were they?
we had the initial recommendations from the pairs who met. And now we have site visits. These are actually starting to be, I think actually by the end of today, they should all be up on the private YouTube channel for anybody who wants to see the video. And then from the standpoint of any changes that we've had in thinking. So what we're gonna do is show what the initial thoughts were, the rationale for it,
Okay.
and then the ones where there hasn't been consensus,
Okay.
and why there hasn't been consensus, and try to do it in buckets of whether it was a zero. There was consensus so far. What are your thoughts about that? And then that was the first thought.
Okay.
We don't want to influence it too much, but understanding that we have folks who hadn't been to
So
everything.
is there any way to group them in fully funded consensus, fully funded no consensus?
Well, if he's not here, say
No
a couple
funding.
minutes.
We can definitely do buckets like that. That was our thinking, to do it that way and to, yeah. Is that, I was thinking if you had time to chat through it like tomorrow, whenever you have time.
Okay.
To do a chat about what you think process-wise, because I also wanted to talk to Sean briefly. And I want to get some insight from,
And then, let me, look at their YouTube video, you gonna send that on there?
yeah, it'll just be a link, yeah,
All right, so let me look at those and then
sure. Because it's a lot to wade through, but you don't want to influence the process too much, but you don't want to leave everyone out.
Right.
So, interested in that.
I was to group them by teams, so to just look at the, I think they're.
Oh, me? We got the report. Actually, I can probably just want to turn it over there.
Okay, if we're waiting.
Yeah. Be right back.
I thought Alana was gonna be on this side too. We could balance everyone out.
I was over there, but everybody made this agreement,
Ah.
somebody broke it, so.
It was such a big room with such big chairs.
Mm.
That's what coming to the door, it's like, whoa.
We comment the same way. Evidently, they were cheaper than some smaller chairs, so. Yeah, so
Yeah.
they look
Yeah.
fancy, but they're
Loaded man side on the equilibrium.
We now know why.
How much do I want? Yeah.
We know why now. They must have a big discount when Cindy. Oh,
Yeah.
we'll take those.
like, nobody likes these because.
Regardless of the fact that they're like 7 foot tall.
We've seen this.
I think they're a little short, but if there's plenty to have just the same. They go well. They send them the day after. Usually I just send them like one, and I had a second one this afternoon. It'll probably kick in like when I can't go to sleep. Be wide awake. Well, I won't be able to go to sleep then. Really? Now, I will drink plain milk, but I don't warm it up. Really?
Are we?
Warm it up. Okay.
Let me see.
Now, probably not, I'll be warming my milk.
She used to.
Does it matter if it's
She said on the other
1%,
side.
2%? Okay, cause I drink 1%.
She was here.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
She went to two
I
or
like
three
it.
of them.
Okay.
I like it. Yeah.
Rather than delay the process, I
Just
say
one on
let's.
Let's, Alana's, printing one thing.
Oh, she's
so
coming.
Just take just one
Oh,
second.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you all waiting for anyone
We
else?
Yeah, and this afternoon he said he'd be here.
Oh, okay. 'Cause I closed the door again. Hopefully they see the button because we can hear
Oh, okay.
if they,
It's like a doorbell.
the doorbell.
Yeah. But she's getting something for us, so that's what we're waiting
I didn't see it.
None of they put them together. It's Friday. I stay in my lane now. I don't know nothing about that. That's why I got so much to do. I guess I won't be watching TV none of this week. My instructor sent me an email about a final on Saturday. And found out. You won't be at the Saturday? Well, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take off Friday. And we work Saturday. It's not due until 11 o'clock Saturday. So, I'm gonna work on it all day Friday. So I didn't wanna do this and then go home and take it. And I think it'll probably absorb by then, so, cause I process stuff
You guys want any water
after
or
the fact.
anything?
Walk would be nice, yes, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
3 weeks later.
I know. I can't think of anything. Yeah, 'cause we don't have bottled water.
You see.
We have
Yeah,
the,
bottles on
we do not.
There's something that room
It's been. Well,
Is there a picture in there?
yeah, it should be. We have
for
the
it.
picture.
All afternoon, I'm not
Oh,
starting now.
Yeah, we have these water pictures. But go green. Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah.
So one got started
Okay.
and you double it or triple it. Oh, they don't and then you don't.
It's room on the,
Yeah.
any end of the table. I think you good.
Yeah, one thing my mother did with me was, she was a nap taker.
Cynthia, would you like water?
To
No,
this
thank
day,
No,
even if I
thank
lay
you.
down now, I take naps.
Ms. Bonner? Would you like some water?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Oh, you do have cups?
Yeah.
especially Sunday afternoons, come back from church.
Oh, yeah.
And then especially if it's like raining and it's a nice,
The word is good.
and the word is good.
Takes all
Do
your
some
strength.
good, yeah. Get some good rest.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
That's a very good thing.
Here you go.
Thank you, darling.
You're welcome.
You ever get another picture?
Okay, so we good. 'Cause I think Cynthia, she said she don't want any, everybody else is on their own.
I knew y'all didn't have no mics.
Unless you want
I'm
soda.
good. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No.
I appreciate that.
Thank
I'm good.
Okay, you wanna go ahead and get started? Okay. That was the result of the day report. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I know you were concerned about space, so I'm glad you were able to come to us today. And this site visit is really an opportunity for you to share with us really anything that you wanted to highlight or emphasize, anything about your proposal or your organization, the work that you're planning to do that you feel like maybe you didn't get an opportunity to share in the application. And, after kind of the elevator pitch, the things that excite you, we're happy to do some discussion and any additional questions from the Impact Council members or, the staff that we have present.
Are you
So-
Alana?
Yes, I am Alana. I was going to start with introductions to start with. So I'm Alana James. I'm Director of Community-Based Collaborations at United Way. And I guess, who wants to go next? Bonner?
I'm Dorothy Bonner and President of Unity Neighborhood Association in Board Park area.
I'm Stephanie Nichols with United Way.
I'm Cynthia David, I'm Mayor Port Vista, and I'm with United Way.
Brett Marchand in that way.
Eric Aft also with United Way.
You want me to do it? Yeah, John Moore with this community-based effort. Fred Moore.
Okay. And I'm Noel Stevenson with United.
I'm Cynthia Jeffries, and I'm on the Impact Council.
So now with the, I'm sorry.
She didn't have to introduce. Go ahead and do the process.
That's right. I live in one of the 13 place neighborhoods. Yeah, right.
So do I.
Well, wonderful. So I'd like to kind of hand it over to you to, I guess, we'll say the elevator pitch and talk to us about how you developed this proposal and a little bit more in depth about anything that you want us to highlight or wanted to highlight for us, things that maybe you, again, didn't feel like you had an opportunity to really to speak to. So.
Well, if you'd handed it to me, I don't have any more to say. I mean, I don't have a formal presentation planned. I didn't know that was, the expectation. I think we've said all that we need to say, not only in the initial application, but the supplemental questions that came now. So for me, unless I need to go through the protocol you described, for me, it's more us responding to any questions you might have. Unless this gentleman here, who I never met before, might have something to say.
So could you talk to us about how you came about developing this approach to the work that you
That's
proposed?
okay. I'll give a 30,000 foot view on how that, and how that, the gentleman I never met before. How do I, okay, so I moved back home. I'm originally from Winston, but I lived away for a long, long time. Moved back here not quite 3 years ago, and recently moved a year and a half ago back into the side of town that I was raised in. My brother, who has gone through some life vicissitudes, but has met the challenge, was doing some things on his own to kind of strengthen sort of the immediate community that he lives in. I saw that, knew that, and I said, and the aside to all of this is, my background is nonprofit management, arts management, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I won't go into all the detail on that, but I've been doing this kind of work for a long, long time. So I saw what he was doing, and I said, this can have a wider impact than what he, and shortly after I saw that, then I got word on the Place Matters initiative, and there you have it. So what you have in front of you is very much a grassroots effort to have some impact in the 27105 zip code from a real direct, hands delivered kind of approach. That's the 30,000.
So you talk about the target population. In the application, you mentioned that its population is anywhere from 21 to 75 years old, predominantly black, income levels of $12,000 or less per year, and may or may not have a high school diploma. Can you talk about how you plan to identify those individuals for this work?
So let me just give you a nutshell of how this even got started. So, just doing my goings and comings, I meet people as we all do during our daily walk. And I met Henry. And Henry is a blind fellow who was working at Industries for the Blind. He was living at his home, and I became friendly with him, taking him back and forth to work. He hadn't had reliable transportation. Well, Henry had a young lady, female, living there with him, who subsequently, after his death, developed breast cancer. Right. Well, she had a living guy with her at the same place. And so when Henry died, everybody had to find their own place. Fred, can you give us a ride? Fred, can you help us till I get my check for my cell phone? Fred, And these are things that I was doing, and these are people that I'd come to know through my association with Henry. Well, as is true in most neighborhoods, word gets around. That guy help if you talk to him, he'll help you. And me being the naive pup that I am, you know, I help. And most people are interested in being vigilant about their circumstances. And so they know that if they borrow $25, $30, they want to give you that $25, $30 back. And you get a couple who don't. Because you need your cell phone paid, but you just can't make it to your check. I get it. Or you need a ride to the, before Brenda, this was the lady that was living with Henry, who now had to find her own place. Before Brenda got involved with TransAid, how was she gonna get to her radio therapies? How was she gonna get to her chemotherapies? Well, she could have caught the bus, but if anybody knows how daunting that can be, just to get over to Baptist Hospital, it takes 2 hours from East Winston. So, you know, I didn't mind, because Brenda was a good trooper. She's now been cancer-free 2 years. Amen, that's a good thing. David then developed prostate cancer. He had moved in with another young lady, Nina. All of these are ongoing stories right now. The only part of this story that's not going on right now is Henry. And I often thought of writing a narrative of all of these things that I do, just maybe, I don't know. But I began doing that, but I just tend to be kind of busy. There's Reggie, who's now incarcerated, left his family, Keisha and 2 kids that I inherited because of my friendship with him. We were at Forsyth Tech together. I got a degree in biotechnology in 11. He was in communications. And during that time, we developed a friendship where he got in trouble with the law and went to prison. What am I gonna do? I'm friends with his family now. Now they don't got nobody around. What do you do? And John Boy was watching all of this, and he was saying, you know, this can have a real substantive impact. And then I had a little job with the Urban League, and I began to get some foot warming with how philanthropy and nonprofit works. And I just happened to read that, you know, there was some interest in a refocusing of efforts towards this kind of grassroots of people who just need a break. And voila, here we are.
You want to know specifically about the age part of the population.
I didn't ask you a question.
Well, you talked broader.
She
Your
was gonna
question
tell
was
me.
more 21 to 75,
But
right?
she was gonna tell me if I answered the question.
I'm just nudging you.
There's no way you two are related.
I don't even know this.
I never seen it.
So when you with this work, so if you're funded on July 1st when you started to implement, so how would you go about starting to identify some of these individuals that you would be seeking to work with? So how do you know, or how do people find you, or how do you find individuals?
It is amazing what word of mouth can do. And there is no formal application process, no.
As it currently stands.
Yeah, there's a whole industry that is developed called micro-lending, from $300 to $1,000, people that can't approach a bank. This is even less than that, you know, of people who just can't make it to the attention of anybody that could really help them. They just fall off the radar screen. And we have 3, really 4, individuals from the 101, 105 zip codes who we have asked to be identifiers, service providers, people whom they come into contact with their daily walk. Individuals who, and these people I know personally, would be benefited by this service we would offer. I think we haven't even scratched the surface. I think it's overwhelming, the need that's there. Did I get close?
Sure. So so the 4 individuals that you are working with currently, they're primarily going to go into community and spread the word about these services?
They live in the community.
They live in the community,
Yeah,
okay, so they would help.
and would say, and this is what I explained to them, just in your daily going to the food line or your daily going over to McDonald's, if you happen to hear of someone who's distressed for a transportation need or distressed for maybe just something that they could help them get by, maybe we could help them learn about how better to handle their own dollars. Give us a call. Tell them to give us a call.
Now, let me add to that. When you say I'm currently working with, again, this is a very nascent kind of, fledgling, but moving forward with a particular kind of direction, effort. We had our first quote-unquote organizing meeting about 2 months ago. And so they have not yet come under, just being very clear, the particular service that we are offering. However, in their daily walk and things that they do, and one of the guys that is coming here, his professional work is home remodeling. And so what we try to do with our advisory group, is 3 of them in particular, and they're all from the area, is draw on their strengths such that they could then utilize residents in the area to ultimately lead towards some sort of earning of wage.
Or self-sufficiency.
Well, earning, yeah. So, there you have it. We have not, this would be, should we be funded and supported, the first effort in a kind of a structured way to provide the services under the banner of the noble cause and my business, JOMA, as a consultant.
Okay, let me make sure I'm clear on what service would be provided, okay? First, it would be transportation services. So you kind of meet these people as they have a need to go to hospitals, to grocery shopping, you say, to the pharmacy. So that's kind of where you initially intersect with them. Once you have kind of established this relationship, if you will, then it branches to financial literacy, or you use that as the basis for then taking it further, or how does that work?
That's a good question, because
You can ask them.
when you begin to counsel people about how better to manage their money, oftentimes you're gonna get some pushback. Because even though